Hello, Bonita Bay Club members. We're here for Marsh Update number 4. I'm EJ McDonnell, your Director of Golf, and I'm here once again with my good friend, our bearded Hal Akins, our Director of Golf Course Operations. Hal, July 1st, the original 9 pretty much done right now. Let's tell the members kind of what's been happening the past couple of weeks. It's all pretty exciting.
Yeah, this is when it gets exciting, isn't it?
Yeah,
You go through all this, you see the dirt all the time, and and it just kind of looks like it's sitting there, and then all of a sudden it starts to come together, and you start slicking things off and getting it prepared for grassing, and that's where we're at today. We grassed 9 greens, the first 9 holes that we've been working on, holes 1 through 6, 16 through 18. All those greens have been grassed, and we've grassed 7 of those holes as far as fairways are concerned. So we're coming down the stretch on these 9 holes.
Yeah, so everything's looking good, shaping out nicely. We're going to take the members on a drone video ride, I guess you would say, of the original 9 holes. We're going to do all the holes today, so sit tight. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but it's going to be really cool. We kind of had a weird weather pattern where we were in a major drought. Then we just got ambushed with rain, and I think it's rained here at the West facility once in the past, what, 15 days now?
The good news is we were in a drought, and then we were on water restrictions, and it rained a lot for a period of time there, and that allowed them to take the water restrictions off just in time for us to be ready to grass. And then since then, we went 10 days without rain, then we got like an inch of rain, and then now we've gone another 4 or 5 days without rain. So it's been extremely strange.
Yeah, so with those water restrictions, if I remember right, they were taking us down to 600,000 gallons of water a day here on this site. And from the reports I'm seeing, we're doing at least that per golf course, if not more right now. So
absolutely,
it's quite a relief we're off of those water restrictions.
Yeah.
So kind of tell us, the process we got going forward as we're going to move into the other 9 holes. We got a lot done already. We're going to highlight that in our next video. But kind of where are we at in the full scope? Yeah,
well, I thought, that the big news is the grassing going on over here, of course, but we have done a lot on holes 7 through 15. We built green number 7. We're in the process of finishing off number 8. We've shelled out the green on number 10. We're in the process of finishing the green on number 11. And we've also built greens on 14 and 15. So we've got a lot done, and we've shaped out a few tees over on that side as well. So a lot's going on over there too, but I don't think we're far enough along that we really want to focus on that just yet. But next time we're definitely going there.
Yeah, it's hard to see all the features and design characteristics until we get some color out there like we have on these original 9, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
We did get the walls in place on 12, 13, and then on number 9, which is going to allow us to start the construction on those greens as well.
Yeah, those are really dynamic. They look fantastic.
That's the Great Wall of Bonita Bay. That's what it's been called, right?
So one of the questions that we receive a lot is when we go through these videos and we kind of say, we made some changes in the field, this was decided in the field, and stuff like that. We want the members to know it's not Hal and I out here cruising around saying we should put a bunker here or do that there. Hal, kind of describe who the we is of the whole team that goes into this process.
There's a lot of them, obviously. You have the architects themselves, which are the main drivers of what we do out here, and everything goes through them. But this is a collaborative effort. It's a very organic process. I think when we're out here and just say we're shelling out a green and we're taking a look at it, everybody kind of looks at it and throws their 2 cents in, and I think you and I try to make sure that there are no long-term impacts, by being a little too radical, possibly. So we just try to temper everything, but we all really work together to really come up with some great ideas and we all recognize opportunities and we institute those as we see fit. But we always run that through our architect.
Yeah, so we got Steve Forrest and Sean Smith, our main architects. Steve has, I don't even know how many years of experience, 30, 35 years. All of our shapers that are out here working, they have 10, 15, 20 years. The guys that own the 2 construction companies, they've done golf courses all over the world. So the talent that's out here in the field moving this earth, is really impressive when you start to talk to these guys doing Olympic courses in Japan, doing, you know, other major championship venues and stuff. So I feel really fortunate to have these guys on our team.
I think we've got a great team. I really do. I'm really excited about it. Last year it was a little more nervous because, we didn't know. You don't know what you're getting into until you're there. This year we kind of hit the ground running, and this team was pretty much intact, and so it's been really good. I mean, I've enjoyed this more than last year, I tell you that.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm sure the members are sick of listening to us talk. Let's head over to number 1 and start the flyover of these original 9 holes on the Marsh Golf Course. Here we are taking off on number 1. Quite a few changes to this first hole, starting off with the new target bunker out there on the right. And looks like they just sodded the left waist area. So once again, that's being converted from a bunker type of material to the screening material that's a lot easier to hit out of and drive through and not create ruts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are the last 2 holes we have to grass, and they're working really hard right now to get these things ready for grassing. We really are shooting for this week to get these 2 holes grassed, 1 and 4, but I don't know if we're going to be able to pull 4 off yet, but I know we'll get 1 for sure. So.
And you see kind of some extra material there on the right, working on drainage. We had some really wet areas on this hole, so that'll make it a lot more playable.
Well,
for the
what
golfer.
you see there is that's a drain basin, and what happens over time, it accumulates a lot of organic matter in there and makes it where it gets a little squishy, doesn't drain well. So they actually excavate that really heavy organic material out and put fresh, dirt in there so that it drains better around that drain. It doesn't stay soggy.
Okay, so this green complex changed quite a bit. We brought that green out quite a bit on the front to kind of the old landform that was there where it would be in the approach before, and now it's actually the front edge of that green.
I think we gained about 15 to 20 feet on the front of that green, don't you?
At least, if not close to 30. It's a good 8 to 9 paces, I would think.
Yep.
So very dynamic green complex right there. Just a real solid starting hole.
Yep. I think they're going to like it. One of the things that's going to be cool is I think we're going to be able to get every tee 1 through 5 lined up perfectly with the landing area here, and which is going to really look neat as you ride behind that tee complex and look down this golf hole.
Well, I know you worked really hard on that, running string between the pivot point that's out 250 yards all the way back through all 5 tee boxes. It was a pretty cool day. The heat index was only like 105 that day, so
yeah,
not too bad.
A lot of sweat went into that one.
All right, let's go over number 2. We got some great changes over there as well. All right, Hal, we're going to take off here on number 2, and we're going to move up this fairway kind of slow. The tee complex looks great once again. Great job on those, really cleaned up.
I think what people are going to notice here, EJ, is we got out there and we cleared out a lot of what they call Carolina willow that grows up, 10, 20 feet high and really obstructs your view of the golf hole. And now people are going to really see most of the golf hole from the teeing area, other than maybe the 5 tee, but the 4, 3, 2, 1, I mean, you'll see all the way down through to the green. So I think that really adds a lot to this golf hole.
And those fairway bunkers are really sharp looking on the back.
Super strong.
But very playable when you're in them. The lips on the front edge of those going at the green are really low.
They look like they're right, like there's hardly any fairway there at all, don't they?
Yeah, but there's a lot of fairway though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna move over towards the green complex here, and that looks really sharp with all the nice defined edges, that sodded area. This just looks gorgeous.
Well, that bunkering around that green is what makes that green so unique. I mean, not only is it pretty, I mean, it's going to save a lot of balls, from rolling into the wetland area.
Yeah, I think in the last video we talked about how that green shifted over to the right quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of bailout area there, and once again, a really good green with some good movement in it, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, there's some nice pins behind that right greenside bunker, aren't there?
Yeah, just a really clean look coming off the back edge of that green, going towards that 5 and 4 tee as well.
Yeah, we tried to tie those 2 complexes together, get rid of some of that junk that was in there that was kind of trashing it up, and just give it a nice clean, turf coming from the green all the way through to the 4 and 5 tee. We got those 4 and 5 tees lined up with the landing area now. I mean, I thought those tees turned out well.
Yeah, well, let's jump over to number 3. I also know that you got a new little feature over there that you want to highlight a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here on number 3, you can see that 4 and 5 tee you were talking about when we were over on number 2. And then you got the 3, 2, 1 tees lined up nice right there, looking right down the fairway.
We tried to line those up with the landing area as best we could, but we were kind of limited with the space with the cart path on the right side and the wetland on the left side. There's only so much we could do to get them oriented in the right direction, but we got them fairly close.
Yeah, and the fairway looks real clean out there. Got rid of that kind of old bunker on the left. It didn't really serve too much of a purpose over there. It didn't really save anybody. It was just a lot of maintenance, I believe, for your crew.
Mm-hmm.
And up here as we approach the green on the right, you did a really cool water feature right there. Tell the members about that.
Well, you know, I think most people remember it was just kind of a mud hole that didn't really have much of a defined area. It wasn't very defined at all. So we went in and we cleaned it up, and last year I actually planted it with some wetland plants, and we actually defined the edges of it, and I think it turned out really well. It really looks like a water feature now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of, I think you're probably gonna stock with some koi fish, aren't you? We'll call it house pond.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of folks are gonna really like now is that when they stand on the tee, especially if you're standing on the 3 tee, you'll be able to see all the way through to the green now, which you couldn't before. So we removed a lot of palmettos on the right side of that little wetland area there, and made it possible to see through and see the green. So again, we tried to clean up a little bit, clean up the view so we can see the golf holes better. So that worked out. That one I think worked out well.
We've also eliminated the cart path in that area, which would bounce a lot of balls over into the junk, if you will. And there's still hard material underneath that sod for the maintenance crew who will use that path a little bit more to kind of protect that turf. So that's another cool little feature that nobody would really know, that there's actually kind of a road buried underneath that for the maintenance vehicles.
That is correct.
So once again, this hole, you know, we kind of got rid of that huge bunker that crossed all the way in front. Everybody has an opportunity if they need to bounce it in. You got an opening right there. Once again, it's not the widest opening in the world, but it's definitely fair for golfers of all ability to have a chance to get on this green in 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it's a short hole, so I mean, you got to have a little bit of protection around the green, don't you?
Yeah, so this green is so much better than it was. Before, there's only about 2 places we could put hole locations, and now we can put cups basically everywhere on that green.
I tell you, these first 4 holes here, I mean, they're small holes, but there's a lot of changes on these holes, and it's taken us a while to get out of them. And so hopefully by, you know, at least the early part of next week, we're done with these 4 holes so we can move on to the back there.
Well, another thing with coming over here to 2 and 3 was actually the tunnel. They couldn't even bring a bulldozer over here, so they had to do it with a skid steer.
Right,
which,
we had to use smaller.
Time.
Yep,
Yeah,
we had to use smaller equipment over here. So, but there were a lot of changes as well.
All right, well, let's make our way through the tunnel and head on over to number 4. Okay, Hal, moving to number 4, as you mentioned when we were over on number 1, this is one of the last holes to get sprigged on this original 9. Hopefully this Saturday, if not, probably next Monday.
Yeah,
for sure that we'll be totally done.
Yeah, there's not much to see there, but it's amazing how quickly all that comes together, you know.
And so we expanded that lake to come up against those tees. That's going to give a really good look off of that tee box, and as you're approaching the first green. So a little bit of a different look there, real fresh and clean instead of all the kind of the old plant material that was on there.
Yeah, that was a kind of a junky looking area upside those tees. I think it's going to be a lot cleaner. I think, you know, just like Bay Island, I mean, as we go through, we've cleaned up a lot of things on the Marsh course. So it'll be kind of the same thing we did on Bay Island, much cleaner.
So as we approach this green, and those actually bunkers there on the left are actually fairway bunkers. They're more target bunkers than they're going to be in play. But wow, did you put a lot of sod out? Well, it's right around that lake. I mean, they really had to protect that because that's a pretty steep slope going from those bunkers down to the lake. So we wanted to really make sure we protected the features there and kept that intact. We actually, before we started, we had a couple of really nasty washouts there on the corner of the lake that we had to repair. So it kind of told us what we needed to know. Well, you know, kind of one of the things when we do get those heavy rains, it really helps out your crew and the construction crew. And this green is really cool. A lot more areas for cups, and some good contouring in it. So this will be a really good, fun short hole right
This is going to be a fun green here for sure. Going to be some really great approach shots into that green.
All right, let's jump over to number 5. Okay, Hal, so here we are on hole number 5, and we're going to take off over the tees, and we see some of your crew down there, and they're throwing some sprigs just on the other side of the cart path. Kind of tell the members what's happening here in this area.
Well, that fairway has been sprigged by the machine, and it did a good job, but what happens is a lot of times some of those sprigs get a little buried. The machine kind of stuffs them down in there a little bit too far, so we go back and we kind of sweeten up these areas that we think are a little thin. We'll go out into the areas that have been sodded for a good length of time where the sod's established, and we'll verticut up some sprigs, and we'll just go around and we just kind of hit areas that we think are a little thin, just so that we can kind of improve the time, frame that we're going to get this thing grown in. So we just want to make sure that we don't have any of these void areas out there.
Yeah, so we're flying over the new waste area. Once again, that's a screening material and waste, not a bunker sand in that. And then up here we have the 2 new bunkers at the turn near the approach.
Yeah, you can really see them now, can't you?
Yeah, versus our other video we did where you can't really see them. And that new front left green side bunker. And as we come into this green, you kind of see the area that's been sodded looks a little beat up. That's actually where you've gone and pulled the sprigs for the area the guys were doing back by the tee.
That's correct.
And also doing all the tee boxes with that.
That's right. We sprig our own tee tops. Last year when we started off, we didn't really like the job that they were doing on that, and we can do that ourselves so much better than what they were doing. So we've taken that on ourselves, and those tees come in so much quicker.
So that's just crazy that you take an area that's pretty much newly sodded, go in there, tear it up, and take those sprigs, and that's what we're doing to do the tee boxes. So
I'm excited about these tee boxes, aren't you? I mean that's something that you and I have worked together on a lot. I mean, we're trying to get these in the right spots, but we're also trying to get them squared up to the landing areas as well, and I think they're turning out really neat.
Yeah, we'll just jump right on over here to number 6 and try to get an angle on those tee boxes, because those are shaped out in the dirt right now, and that's a good video of them right there.
Isn't that amazing how meticulous those guys are when they're getting those things ready to grass? I mean, they look perfect, don't they?
You can really see how they're lined up, and they're kind of staggered there on number 6. And as we come over the lake there, you can see where we have the expanded number 1 and number 2 tee. We expanded that back and forward, so now we'll have a better variance of yardages.
That's
between
right.
the 1 and the 2 tee, not the 2 and 3 yards we saw a lot.
That tee turned out really good. They're gonna like that a lot.
So here once again we have the waste material in there underneath the trees and the cart path along the lake bank there on hole number 6.
Yeah, I like that curbing. We really cleaned up that lake bank there between the curbing and the water. It's going to be a whole lot cleaner, more aesthetically pleasing, and I'm sure the folks across the lake are going to be very happy about that as well.
Yeah, that lake bank looks so much better. That was such a steep drop off right there.
We made the right side of that waste area, we really made that subtle so that folks could get on and off, in and out of that waste area easily onto the fairway. So it's not a very abrupt, transition from the waste area to the fairway.
There we are looking at number 6 green, where we did our intro to this video right there, and I'm sure people could really see that bunker face nice when we did that intro.
We sprigged all the greens last Monday, all 9 of the greens last Monday, and they're really starting to green up a little bit. They're really rooting well and starting to green up. So I would say here by next Monday, we're going to be able to mow those things. We want to get on them and mow them as quickly as we can and that helps to push the lateral growth, And we just want to get the process of turning it into a green started as quickly as possible.
Okay, let's jump over here to hole number 16. All right, here we over on number 16, Hal, and I know you really like this tee complex, how it turned out.
I do. I think it looks great. I mean, there's so much tee space there, and all those tees are really squared up right to the middle of the green. This hole looks, it almost looks virtually done, doesn't it?
It looks like you could play it right now.
Yeah.
You know that when you get on the ground you can't, but this hole in 16 already look like signature holes.
Yeah,
After this
I think you
redo.
mean 17 as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that bunker on the front right there. I mean that bunker, that's amazing. Look at the shadow there, this morning shadow there along the face of that bunker, on the big bunker there on the right.
Yeah, and those two left green side bunkers just fit in there like they kind of belong there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
very cool.
Yep.
All right, let's head over to 17. Okay, so just like 16, 17 looks like it's almost ready to play.
That's right, EJ. That hole is, people are gonna really like this hole a lot. That green, it just feels like it's sitting right on top of the water now, doesn't it?
Yeah, and right there on the tee box, as you can see in the bottom center of your screen, that right side is where we're gonna put the par 3 tee, and then the 1 and the 2 tees will go on the left side of that. So, you know, when you're out playing the par 3 course, it'll be a little bit more challenging from that right side and have to cover the water a little bit more, but for the everyday play, you kind of get a little bit better angle without having to cover as much water.
We just sprigged the tee top there on 17 on Monday, so it's not very far along.
And that new bunker in front, that's really dynamic right there. It's not nearly as deep as it looks like. I think from the overhead,
No.
very playable, and that just used to be a real steep slope in there that the ball would hit and just roll down. So now it'll kind of save us a shot and still give us a chance to get it up and down for par.
We elevated the approach of that hole a little bit. We had some extra dirt there that we could use, and we elevated it. So it's going to be a lot drier out in front of that green now.
Excellent.
That's what we've tried to do in a lot of areas where we had extra dirt to be able to do that, you know.
Okay, all right, let's bring it home here on number 18. All right, here we come down 18, bringing it down the stretch, Hal. Like you said, you know, 3 great finishing holes coming in with the 2 par 3s and now the finish on the par 4.
That's right, EJ. We used a lot of sod on this tee complex, but we do that, you know, because we want to protect, you know, the features. You know, I mean, it's either kind of sod me now or sod me later, you know, and so we try to sod everything that's vulnerable to, you know, washing out. So, and even so, sometimes that's not enough.
Yeah, so you know, sometimes when we do get those heavy rains this time of year, it's a little bit of a pain for your crew and the construction crew to put it back together. But it also shows us where we might need some help with drainage or some extra soil.
Right.
So this 18th green, I think, actually turned out really cool. What a great green complex itself, but the green has some nice movement in it. Nothing crazy, but there's enough in there to make you think about it.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt. It's so much more open around this green now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot more inviting.
Yeah, and we got that little bunker in the backside there that you can see from the clubhouse, and it also will act as a saving bunker, won't it?
It sure will, instead of just kicking off and going across the cart path and into the water. Kind of, once again, like the front bunker on 17, it'll save you a penalty shot there. So.
Yeah, I think that's a much more attractive green complex now.
All right, Hal, well, as always, appreciate the time today out here on this nice, cool morning on July 1st. You know, one of the things we've really been talking about, and you and I talk about a lot, and we've expressed it to the members, is just how excited we are with this project. You know, we went through Bay Island for years and years and years and years, and it seems we kind of talked about Marsh a little bit. Then we were jumping right into talking about Cypress and how much work that was going to be, and the financial side and the construction side and how wet it is. And this project just kind of was floating out there, and nobody's really paying attention to it. And you know, it's almost every day we just kind of talk to each other about how excited we are for this, because this is turning out really cool.
I think so. I mean, I'm getting really, really excited about it. I think the construction guys are getting very excited as well, you know, as they see this thing come together and how good it's turning out to be. I really think that they're getting excited, and they want to do an even better job to finish this thing off right. This project it has kind of flown under the radar, I think, and it started right when all the coronavirus things were starting to come down, and everybody's, you know, kind of their minds have been, you know, on that instead of what's going on out here, and it's kind of complicated things a little bit, but I think members are going to really be happy with what they come back to, and they're going to be surprised at how good it is.
Yeah, you know, I mean, just even things like coming out and doing this video and make sure everybody has their own cart and getting all the equipment loaded, and you can't just run around together and do stuff. It's definitely a different world, but this project's kind of been our sanctuary no matter how hot it is, and just really impressed with the work you've been doing out here.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm glad that we're doing it, because it really has kind of, you know, we've been able to occupy our mind with something other than worrying about what's going on out in the world today. So I'm excited about it, and I know you are.
Yeah. So it's probably going to be a while, probably 3 weeks or so before we do our next update video when we get back over in the other 9. Special thanks to Jordan for coming out today with
absolutely.
us. Absolutely. To do this video. Congratulations on your beard. It's very impressive.
Well, it's like being on a hit streak, you know. Maybe
our bet right before the golf course opens. So once again, thanks for spending the morning out here with us. As always, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to contact Hal or myself at any time.
Take care.